Captain J-Man!
Hey! We're back. Today we're going to get some wrestling in. Wrestling day. Forrest wore a sweater. Must be feeling bad. I beat him in basketball today. Well, the only good thing about a basketball gym is wrestling mats on the floor, so we're about to get into it, unless you got something to say.
Oh, if you like what you see here, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps us out, and it's going to help you out by helping you see more of what we post. Also, if you want to know exactly when we post, then don't forget to hit the notification bell to make sure you know when we upload.
Sounds good. Alright, let's get to it. Alright. First thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about head positioning in our stance, okay? I see a lot of us wrestle, and we wrestle like we're scared to get our head into the match, like where we're afraid to bang heads. Good idea for us. And the other thing I see a lot is we get our head too far forward, so it's easy to control my head, okay? So when we're in our good stance, first line of defense is my hands, my second line is my head. So my head should be the second thing forward, okay? That's the first thing I see wrong with head positioning in wrestling. Today might be a little bit boring wrestling video because we're going to talk mostly about head position and how to use it. Alright, so now that we know our head's supposed to be in here, I can use this for a defend a shot. So if Forrest comes in on a shot, I can use my head to block a lot of stuff that Forrest does. Alright, this is before I even get to the down block. So if Forrest beats my head, starts to get in, this is when I start my down block. Okay? So my head is my first line of defense before the down block. Before that I have my hands out here, but sometimes he beats my hand. He beats my hand, I still have my head to block. See how Forrest couldn't penetrate through because my head was blocking him? It's a really important technique to have. We always want to have our head a little bit lower than my opponent's head, okay? That's what I should be looking for in my stance. The second thing I see with head position, and when guys tie up, come this way, they tie up like this. So they're ear to ear, okay? You can't really wrestle if you're ear to ear. It's really hard to do anything. If I'm ear to ear, if I snap Forrest, my head's in the way. Alright, if I go to get to Forrest's leg, his shoulder's in the way. I'm kind of blocking myself out. So when I tie up, I don't want to be head to head, or ear to ear I mean. I want to be head to head. I want to be here, where I'm able to grind, I'm able to work, push on Forrest, make him work, he can push on me. Alright? Both of us have shots from here. This is where we'd much rather be than here. We shouldn't tie up like WWE. When you see the WWE guys and they come out and they're like, no, you're going to tie up with me at the same time, right? You haven't watched a lot of WWE, so we're going to be like, ah! We're not trying to get into this like really tight tie-up ear to ear. That's not where money's made, alright? We want to be here so we get nice sweet shots, alright? We want to be out front. If we can ideally get here, if I can get my head into his ear where I'm controlling his head, that's a much better spot for me. Now I'm really controlling what's going on. That's a lot easier for me to enter in and get takedowns, alright? So where we position our head in the tie-up is really important as well, okay? So we're going to be here, boom, head to head. Or I'm going to have my head in his ear, really controlling him. Okay? That's part 2. Part 3 is we can use our head for a weapon to initiate takedowns. We show this a lot with getting just a knee pick, alright? So the most basic example of that is we're going to be in a good stance. I'm going to explode in, boom, and use my head to push him up to get to the knee pick, alright? So what I'm doing is I'm using my head, and I'm not driving my head straight into him, okay? This is another problem I run into all the time. We just run like this. If I'm Mickey Gaskins, sometimes I try and get a takedown, I just put my head down and I run at him, and you get toroed right into the wall. Alright? That actually kind of happened to Mickey one time at my wrestling practice that I coached. So, not to bring Mickey up, but Mickey did that. So what we want to do is we want to make sure we have our eyes on the target, alright? And if I'm going to use them, I'm going to step in and push up with my head. So when I enter, I'm not going straight like this, I'm coming up with my head. I always want my head going up on an angle when I'm trying to pick up someone's legs, right? Like I'm pushing them up with it.
So you'd rather hit with your forehead than the top of your head?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's another good point. I don't want to be hitting with the top of my head because I'm going to hurt my neck a lot, okay? When my eyes are up, I'm looking at my target, my neck is strong, trying to pull my head down. Pretty hard, right? Now watch when my head goes down, pull my head down. Ugh, yeah, it's terrible. Can't hold me with 1 finger, but you can control my head when I put it down, okay? So all these things are really important with our heads. We want to make sure our heads are up. We don't want to have our head down where Forrest can control me. I want to use my head up. I want to control. Now some drills we can do. Number one, we can do our hand fight drill, alright? So what we're going to do is we're going to start, we're just going to go for a minute. And all we're going to try and do is push each other's head down. Alright, I want to try and push his head into the mat. If I'm bigger and stronger than my opponent, I'm going to take it a little bit easy on him. If he's bigger and stronger than me, he's going to take it a little easy on me. Alright, so we're just going to slap, bump, go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. Control my head. Pencil neck. 15, 14. Good. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. All right. Good work. Okay. So now that's where our head should be on the feet. On the ground, let's look at it again. Alright, so if Forrest is in on me on a shot, and he has his head down, it's going to be really easy for me to push his head away. Keep hanging on my leg. Push his head away, bring my knee up, and kick my leg out. Alright, so if someone's in on a single, boom, their head's down. I'm just going to push his head down and away from my knee. I'm going to bring my knee up and swing my leg through and come back out. Alright? So Forrest can try once. I'm going to have my head in. He's going to push it down, bring his knee up, and kick his leg all the way through. Just like you're throwing a round kick. You want to make sure you kick all the way through and out, okay? Do it again. Boom on your leg, up, through, and out. Very good. Sean Felton has one of the best escapes like this I've seen, a single leg kick out, okay? Now, a lot of times when someone gets a shot in on you, their head is going to be up in your chest like it should be. So when he gets that single, his head is going to be up in my chest, right? So this is the difficult position for me. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take both my hands, stuff his head down. Now I'm going to push it away and do the same thing, okay? First thing I want to do is clear the head. So as he comes in, boom, I clear the head. I'm going to push away with my hips, and then it's going to bring him down to the mat, okay? It's really hard for Forrest to finish the takedown once I separate his head from my chest, okay? His takedown is only effective when his ear is in my heart, right? Forrest, try and finish the takedown. Like, look, he's controlling my body pretty well. Maybe he gets the takedown. This only happens because we're on film, and I didn't smash him. All right? Grab up again. Finish it. Oh, finish the takedown. Finish the takedown. See what happens with the head control?
Yep.
Wherever the head goes, the body's going to follow. So we want to make sure that we're always stuffing the head down and away from us, okay? Now we're going to look at this on the mat one time. We're going to show a 3/4 Nelson. This next move that I'm going to show is called a 3/4 Nelson. It works from the smallest Pee Wee League wrestling, from like the time you're 4 years old, up until you're a pro MMA fighter fighting in the UFC. Okay, this move is one of the fundamental moves in wrestling. It's about controlling the head. The whole emphasis of today's lesson is about controlling the head. So we control the head on the feet before the shot. We control the head on the feet during the shot, and now we're going to look at it on the mat. Okay, so if Forrest isn't on my leg, and on a shot, alright, we got down to this position where I'm sprawled out on him, or even if he's in on a good shot, and he's up high, even up on one leg, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my hips back, and I'm going to push his head down and away. As I push his head down and away, I'm going to be reaching in here, and controlling with like a whizzer right here. It's not really a full whizzer because Forrest is on my leg. If Forrest is around my waist, my whizzer would be right here, and I could put the pressure down on him and collapse him down to the mat. Alright? We'll actually look at the whizzer maybe in the next class. Forrest is going to be on my leg though. I'm going to come in like I'm trying to get a whizzer, and I'm going to pressure on the head. Again, turn back to where we started from. Back up. So we're going to be here. I'm going to have my arm come underneath his armpit. My other hand is going to post on the top of his head. I'm going to push his head down to the mat. I'm going to lock my wrist, just like I'm doing a Kimura. So the wrist grab is like this. It's going through Forrest's armpit, right to his head. Alright? Once I get this locked up, I'm going to push Forrest's head down and collapse it like I'm trying to turn him over with a half Nelson, just like that, down to the mat. Come back up. I'm sorry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold Forrest's head in towards me. Alright? This is going to take away his post on the mat. So right now his forehead's on the mat. I'm going to remove his forehead from the mat. I'm going to drive his shoulder down to the mat. Okay? So I'm pulling his head up off the mat and driving his far shoulder down to the mat. Head comes towards me, shoulder goes towards the mat. Make sense? Doesn't feel good, does it?
No.
Alright, so Forrest is right here. He's got my leg still. He's in on my leg, even if he's trying to finish. The more he's driving in and pushing, the easier it is for me to get him over. Don't fall so easy, make a stiff body. Once Forrest is here, I'm going to walk around always towards his butt, and I'm going to dig my arm through like I'm putting his head in my pillow. And now I'm going to be in side control, okay? Or I'm pinning him. For wrestling, I'm going to pin him down on that. Get my pin. I'm going to have Forrest short on me one time because he's just fallen over a little bit. I want to make sure that you guys give it a really good feeling of where the head should go. A really good visual of it, okay? So I'm in on Forrest's leg. He's going to stuff my head down and away. Look at how he drives my head down and away. My ear should be touching the mat now, right? When I'm in on the shot, my head's up. He clasps me down, my forehead's on the mat. Now he's going to turn my ear in. Now it's going to make it really hard for me to fight him right here. He's going to drive me down to the mat. Drive. Once he gets down to the mat, he's going to feed his arm through, walk around, and maintain side control. If you're here like this, you can just get an underhook, throw it to my back, or my back, okay? So you can go right to the back if I'm like that. Good. All right. So Forrest did it one time, and we saw a couple of problems that happened during the technique, okay? The first problem is where our head goes as our partner breaks that 90-degree plane. So when Forrest is on my leg and I break this plane, if my head gets far away from him, right now it's really easy for him to turn right into me. That's away. Turn into me. Good. And now I can start coming up and he's going to beat me to get this underhook a lot of the time. Okay? So as I'm coming around, and I'm breaking him down, as I walk, my head turns with his body. Let's do it so my face is facing the camera, actually. So as I'm going, my head is going to stay over his body. Okay? If my head comes off to the side, I'm going to force a lot of space to turn, and he can either sit up, or more likely he's going to dive and get that underhook. Or he's going to dive and be in on a shot on the other side leg. Okay? So my head, as I turn, if I'm pressuring in right here, and I'm underneath, as I turn, my head goes right with my body, so my head stays over the top of Forrest. The other thing that's going to happen is the arm that's going underneath Forrest's arm. So I'm going to ask you just to roll. Forrest is going to roll without me pushing as he rolls. The arm that was underneath his is going to be the one that sneaks through to get around his head. Okay? So, as I'm driving, and I'm pushing, this hand is just going to swim through and not get caught on my partner's hood and make it all the way through so I can get through there. Okay? So I turn my hand, I'm around, I'm on the top, right? As I'm pushing down, I am going to turn my hand and just push it through like I'm swimming, just like I'm going for a darce. So if I was feeding a darce and my arm was going to snake through like that, where I'm just coming through, I'm going to do the same thing on the mat as I'm going around. So my arm is now sneaking through and I'm on top. Alright, and now I can go back to Forrest and Crouton's favorite position. Boom, right here. Control that top arm. And finish. This one needs a little bit of practice, okay? Breaking the guy down a lot of times is going to be pretty easy. So if I get to here, and I break Forrest down, and maybe I can't come back through with it, right? But if I can't walk all the way around, it's really easy for me to hop up right here, score knee on belly, okay? At the very least, you should be able to use this to keep people off your legs. When Forrest was wrestling a lot, he was getting really good at using this. He's not been wrestling very much lately because he's bigger, older, and stronger. And now he doesn't really wrestle that much because of COVID. He's only got me to wrestle with, so I smash him a little bit. But for a while, he's getting really good at finding this over and over and over again. So there's some good triangles off this too. We can personally look at it on a non-wrestling day. But if you use this a lot and you start using it again, you can definitely get into a lot of good triangles off of there. For MMA, this is still really good if you're in a fight, someone's in on your leg. You can stuff them down, boom, once you get to here, you can start punching them, right? Get your leg back, and now you can really punch them more too, alright? It's a good way to add a little bit to your sprawl. Once you get the guy teetering like this, he's kind of helpless. There's a lot of great stuff we can show off there. That walk around to the back to control in position is probably the best thing that I like to show kids though, so you can maintain position. If you're in any kind of altercation, you can stop it without hitting someone or getting hit anymore and finish on top. And then you can just wait there till the guy gets tired. You can probably make fun of him if you want a little bit too. Don't tell anyone I said that. Alright, got anything else?
If you're still here and you haven't hit the notification bell yet, I'd be very surprised because if you're still here, you probably like our content. So if you missed out the first time, don't forget to hit the notification bell.
Any problems on these techniques?
Nope.
Alright, we're out of here. Huss!